reality? Do they really exist?
Are ID cards a deception?
And do we really want a new world order?
We all conspire to find the truth.
But
what is the reality?
Brothers watching, it's you that he's looking. Big brothers watching, we go la 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 la.
Yeah, we're led to believe whatever we see. From the television we watch to the papers we read. We're fed false information to avoid accusations of the games and the dirty tricks the government are playing. Kept in the dark as we're put to the side. There's only so much truth, it's all deception and lies. We'll never know the truth because they're keeping us blind. We're only fed false stories while what's real's disguised.
Welcome to a world corrupt by bad mans and such. The tax man's after cheddar because they never give up. All that money borrowed in the first place. System's the worst, only set up to control the earth, mate. Prime ministers, politics, it's all a crock of hish. I'ma stay on top of it, I ain't even bothering. I'm off the grid, you should get off as well. Ladies giving birth to babies in hell, that's how I feel.
Countdown to the new world order, life to the store, drugs in our water, nations get tortured. Man are killing and feeding these kiddies riddling, keeping us docile, they don't want us questioning. They must have planned underhand, damn, understand man, we contain pawns in the chess game till it's checkmate. You need to look past the wool over your eyes and watch Frankie Ma.
Big brothers watching, it's you that he's looking. Big brothers watching, we go la la la.
Our first ever guest is Ian R. Crane. Ian is an ex-oil field executive, and he now lectures and writes on the geopolitical webs that are being spun around the world, with particular focus on the New World Order agenda for control of global resources. Since 2007, Ian has focused his efforts on raising public awareness of the pernicious attacks on the global population in the name of corporate globalisation and harmonisation. He is also the organiser of the Alternative View conferences, which, if you have never been before, are really fantastic. They are great fun and really enlightening. In the style of the reality show, we want to make things a little more interesting. Now, as we all know, the Freemasons and Illuminati are obsessed, apparently, with ritual. Look at the images of the Masonic floor and the ladder, etc. So not to be outdone, all of our guests are going to have to take part in our own Masonic ritual. It's just an excuse to take the piss out of the Freemasons, really, and also the guests.
So we're going to have our own secret initiation live on television right here.
Because that's
right
how
now.
secret it really is.
When the trumpets sound, right, all we want you to do, right, is get the sounds, make your noise.
Get the sound effects
and
ready.
welcome Ian Crane to the show.
He is going to come out. At the third trumpet, Ian Crane is going to come out, and he will make a perilous journey. He is going to have to cross the plank of truth, and if he's secretly working for the dark side, the plank will explode, killing him instantly. He'll drop an invisible stone into the abyss and cross to the other side, where he'll perform his ritual Masonic handshake and get anointed into our own version of the Shadowy Elite by me on the Masonic stepladder. So please, for perhaps the last time and the third trumpet sound, a big cheer for Ian R. Crane.
Oh, yeah! As we see, Ian is blindfolded. He's been assisted by two guardian angels who, really and truly now, they're going to leave him to his own devices.
Come on, Ian, into the middle of the abyss.
He is...
Wait, stop!
Stop.
Now get ready to drop... No, stop!
Stop.
You've got to drop your stone into the abyss. And will there be a sound effect for that?
No.
No. Yay! Yay!
And let's hope that ugly turd never comes back.
Okay.
About me?
Okay,
Ian.
there you go. Put your best foot forward.
Well done.
Oh, can we have a big round of applause?
Oh, man.
And I'm Crane. Right, come and take a seat, Ian.
Do I dodge the abyss?
Dodge the abyss.
Come and take a seat, man.
Can I roll my trousers down now?
You can do what you want.
Actually, it was a great opportunity to show off my Texan.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're a nice pair of boots, man.
Yeah, it's the hangover from the oil field.
Yeah, they need polishing, but they're cool, man.
Well, you can do that later.
Yeah.
I know the Lord don't hear my cry. Oh, Lord.
Boy, am I going to pay for that?
Oh, son. Okay.
As always, a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, okay.
It's a pleasure to be the inaugural guest. Well, where do you want to start?
Start at the beginning, how you got into it in the first place. Where's your background? That's where we should start from.
Okay. Well, I'm sure many of the viewers of this programme have heard this story before, but for those that haven't, I mean, it's still worth telling because you know, I spent 20 years in the oil industry, and in 1991, when I was 34 years of age...
Serious?
Serious, I was 34. And I was one of the first civilians to go into Kuwait at the end of hostilities after the first Gulf War. And driving around the southern Kuwaiti oil fields, it was very apparent to me that the official version of events, which was that the Iraqi forces had set the wells alight, wasn't borne out by the evidence that I was seeing firsthand. And
So what was the evidence?
well, the evidence basically was the dead Iraqi troops that were spread all over the southern oil fields. And it looked to me as though they had been trying to defend the wells, been overcome by superior forces and obviously lost out. And then the wells were set alight. So my observation at the time was that the wells were set alight by the US Special Forces, probably with some help from their colleagues, the British Special Forces. Well, I happened to make this observation to some people when I was having lunch one day in the mess of the Kuwaiti Oil Company.
Lunch, what, around the wells with the Iraqi dead people?
No, I had gone back to the headquarters of the Kuwaiti Oil Company at that time, which were in a town called Akamadi. And anyway, a few days later, this guerrilla in US battle fatigues obviously knew who I was because he walked straight over to me. He said, "I've been hearing you've been casting some aspersion about who set them wells alight."
That's a big word for
it was.
Yeah.
For a gorilla. That's a long sentence.
He was an educated gorilla. Anyway, I didn't even get a chance to respond. And he just said, "Boy," which was kind of interesting because he was probably about 7 or 8 years younger than me. He said, "Boy, that's the kind of thinking that can get you into a whole lot of trouble."
Right.
And he let it hang there for a second, then he turned and walked away, and then he turned back and, excuse the French, but he said, "What the fuck's the matter, Ian? Aren't we paying you enough?"
Oh.
Well, you know, I let that ride, and, I mean, it wasn't a Damascus-type moment. It did take a few years, you know, for that experience to sort of really be properly integrated. But, you know, as time went on, I realised that actually there was a distinct possibility that everything I thought I knew about world history was probably wrong.
Okay, but so you're there in Kuwait. You're still in the oil industry.
Not now, but I was then, yeah.
I know. You're still in the oil industry. You're in Kuwait. You're still in the oil industry. You move over to America.
Yep.
Texas.
Yep.
Tell us what happens then.
Well, in Texas, I mean, it was a tremendous education because I lived in Houston, Texas for nearly 4 years, travelled all around the US, it's particularly obviously in the oil-bearing areas. And you know, it's very difficult for people who haven't lived in the US to appreciate that America is a society of smoke and mirrors. You know, it projects itself to the world as the land of the free. Well, let me tell you, it's anything but. I mean, not least, I mean, you know, one of the most significant observations is that America has the largest prison population of any developed nation.
It's a big business.
It's a massive business, exactly. It's horrendous. You know, and then coupled with the fact that people there live their lives, and we're not much better here in the UK or in Europe, but people live their lives as economic slaves. You know, they come out of college owing very large bucks, which of course is something that we've adopted here in the UK now since Tony Blair came to power. So they come out of college owing enormous sums of money, So they have to get straight into the world of work. They take jobs where, you know, they have vacation that's probably no more than 10 or 15 days a year. In many cases, they're even scared to take that vacation because they are literally concerned that if they go away on vacation, when they come back, somebody else will have taken their job. It's a society based on fear.
Yeah.
You know what? Can't no more. My job now.
Yeah. No, it is really bad. I mean, you guys have been to the States as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been to the States. Not the prisons.
I mean, what do you think?
We haven't been to
Not
the
even
prison.
done comedy at the prisons?
No,
or
no,
anything
no,
like that?
no. You've done comedy in the UK, haven't you? In the prisons?
I've done comedy to USA troops in Germany, which made me see a whole different kind of spectrum as regards to United States.
Were these forces that had been in Iraq or Afghanistan, or were they forces based in Germany?
Forces based in Germany. They really hadn't been anywhere by the looks of it, apart from this big village which Americans have created in Germany.
A little piece of America in Germany.
A massive piece of America in Germany.
So the troops there probably responded very well to your comedy?
No, they didn't, to be honest with you, because 70% of Americans have never been outside of their state, and they've got no idea about anybody else's culture apart from their own. So there's probably around about 30% of them who was like, oh man, you're funny because I'd seen Monty Python. And the rest of them was like, man, you talk too funny. You talk too fast. So it takes a while before you kind of like, okay, let me get you used to my culture and like the fact there's life outside of America, and then you'll understand where I'm coming from. So I had to go through that whole process and experience.
Yeah, interesting experience. I mean, the reason I was asking whether or not they'd actually been to Afghanistan and Iraq was because most of the troops that have been in these theatres have been given a phenomenal cocktail of drugs, which is actually one of the reasons why we see a lot of atrocities being committed by the American forces in Iraq and Afghanistan, because effectively the humanity has been drugged out of them.
I want to talk a bit more about your knowledge on 9/11. What do you think? Was it a conspiracy? What do you think about 9/11?
Well, let's refer to the evidence. I mean, I think that to believe the official version of events about 9/11, you actually have to suspend everything you know or have been taught about Newtonian physics. Because when you actually dig beneath the surface...
Some of our people might not know what Newtonian physics is.
Sorry,
Newtonian.
Newtonian, the normal laws of physics. I mean, the classic is that we are supposed to believe that the Twin Towers collapsed one after 45 minutes, the other one after a little more than an hour, based on two planes colliding with the towers, and the fires brought them down. I mean, you know, this is just not possible.
I don't know, because, I mean, I watched it on TV. I saw the plane... I mean, I didn't see the first plane. I saw the second plane hit the building. Obviously, it's done some structural damage, and the building's collapsed. That's what I saw on TV. That's what was reported. How can you say differently?
No, I'm not suggesting that that didn't happen. What we saw... Yeah, we're not going to debate the veracity of what was actually broadcast. But never before have steel-structured buildings collapsed through fire, before or since. And certainly not after just 45 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. And these buildings didn't just collapse, they actually disintegrated into piles of dust. I mean, normally when a building collapses, the pile of rubble is 1/8 of the size of the original building. Now, that actually, interestingly, is exactly what occurred with Building 7. Now, Building 7 wasn't hit by a plane, but this 47-storey building, which was just over 100 metres away from the Twin Towers, collapsed at 5:20 in the afternoon. Now, that was also a controlled demolition, but it was much more a textbook controlled demolition, because the pile of rubble was exactly what you'd expect to see. But the Twin Towers, now normally let's also mention that when a building is demolished through controlled demolition, it's been stripped of everything. You know, there's nothing left except the shell. But the Twin Towers on 9/11 were working mini-cities. I mean, they held up to 50,000 people, you know, going about their day-to-day work. What happened on that day, though, was that those buildings were completely equipped. I mean, not just office furniture, the computers, but all the electrical fittings, all the conduit, all the plumbing. But when these buildings collapsed, they collapsed into piles of dust. I mean, there was just nothing. I mean, something occurred. I'm not suggesting for one moment that I know what occurred, because I don't. But what I can tell you, and people can look at this for themselves because they can Google the photographs that are freely available on the web. And what you see, where the Twin Towers were, are effectively holes in the ground. I mean, where is the rubble? I mean, something happened that day which actually defies our understanding of physics.
Well, from what I gathered, from what I saw and what I heard, all of the rubble kind of morphed together to produce the passports intact of the actual terrorists who were flying.
It's remarkable, isn't
planes.
it? But can a magician, repeat that feat? I mean, it's staggering.
David Blaine.
David Blaine could do that.
Copperfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, Copperfield.
Yeah.
I forgot what his name is now.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, I tell you what, the next time I fly, I want to fly in a plane that's made of that passport material.
I have to say, though, for me, one of the most amazing things and things that are suspect is the whole insurance part of it as well. Because basically, I mean, was it 3 weeks before?
A little more, but not much more. But Larry Silverstein, who took over the lease of the World Trade Center
and Building
complex,
7 as well.
the whole complex.
And that's what I mean, right? If you guys had 3 cars and they all got... Yeah, if you guys had 3 cars, like he had 3 buildings, and they all got destroyed in a terrorist attack, they wouldn't pay you the insurance.
No.
You know, especially if you'd only insured...
But what was amazing, I mean, this guy had the remarkable
drive,
foresight. This guy had the remarkable foresight to insure the buildings against terrorist attack. They'd never previously been insured against terrorist attack, but he was remarkably prescient. He paid the premium, and so for a nominal investment, I mean, he was eventually paid out, I think, $7.5 billion.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. Now, as we do now actually have a segment from someone very special who you also know coming up in the show. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of his company, the reality show is proud to introduce some comedy half-truths from the New World Order's biggest advocate. It's Deke.
Deke.
The second biggest search topic on the internet after porn is UFOs and aliens. That's an odd combination, isn't it? You wouldn't think that every day millions of humans all over Earth were wondering if we're alone in the universe, if other life exists, what it's like, and have we been contacted by aliens just after a wank? I wonder if we're alone in the universe. Maybe it's the sad melancholy of the post-pleasure moment. Sniff, I'm all alone, unless there's aliens. Or maybe it's thinking aliens will fuck me. See you later, Earth girls. I'm going for some intergalactic loving. But I digress. The existence of other life in the universe is a mathematical certainty. The same conditions that create and support life on Earth have been discovered across our solar system, our galaxy, and the universe itself. Sunlight, liquid water, stuff, land, surfaces for the creation and flourishing of life, and time. So we can stop pondering whether we're alone in the universe and move on to consider who or what we're sharing it with. Some people think E.T. will be dangerous and seek to enslave us or pillage our planet. Ha ha, if anything's left. Others conjecture that aliens are hiding among us, doing deals with our government, building bases on the moon, farming humans like some kind of galactic Sweeney Todd to make pies out of. Garblag, let us travel the vast emptiness of space in our faster-than-light-speed ship to eat human brains. I can't think of a better use to put our awesome achievements to. Or that aliens are our ancestral galactic parents who created us and with whom we share DNA links, but they haven't revealed themselves in case we move in, sponge off them and don't get a job. Others think alien life forms will be super intelligent, lovely beings, like hippies but with flying saucers. Nothing to do but zip about the galaxy shepherding intelligent life along the road to astral celebrity status, where one day we'll be allowed to join the grown-ups in outer space, once we've finished killing each other, believing in mumbo-jumbo and eating other life forms.
Oh, humanity, your chakra energy has reached perfection. You may now join us in the Rainbow Galaxy Love-In.
Thank you, patronising alien tossers. Now, where do we get our hyperdrives and a list of developing planets to fuck? I mean visit. Or do I? Because the Earthlings are coming, ready or not. Oh yeah, baby. If life develops in other places in the universe and it turns out anything like us, we'd better hope it doesn't visit Earth. If E.T. is remotely like humans, I'm glad we haven't found it and it hasn't found us, because when it does, we're fucked. Do you think humans with hyperdrives and death rays will be lovely space hippies? Explorers with flowers in their hair? I don't think so. Humans will rape your planet and send you the bill. Let's examine how various human cultures dealt with life on Earth. Invasion, colonization, extermination, genocide, clear-cutting of ancient forests, emptying the seas of fish. Do we kidnap and anal probe orangutans before we destroy their forests and plant palm oil plantations to make lipstick and keep biscuits fresh? Are we disguising ourselves as whales and secretly passing on details of our technology to the whale leaders? Nope. Do you think we'll hide behind the moon from monkey people for 50 years, negotiating with their top baboon, occasionally appearing in grainy photos? Did any human civilization ever expand or colonize peacefully? No. If humans explore space and discover your planet in the future, your life is over and your civilization is doomed. Greetings, inferior life forms. We do not come in peace. We come to kick your ass, take your gold and your zirconium and your plutonium and anything else you onium. We're gonna kill you in large numbers and say God told us it was okay. We'll exterminate anything on the planet that threatens our survival, and if we can live here, we'll move in and hunt you down to the last breeding pair. When aliens arrive, we will be the equivalent of fish food.
Oh, but Deke, intelligent life is more complex than the simple survival instinct. Civilizations of higher culture, technology, and intellect will also be moral and will revere other life as sacred or rare or at least worth studying. Teasing us with crop circles and pretending to be that they are our god sometimes.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it. Space travel's expensive. Everything your spaceship's made of had to be manufactured, mined, paid for. And once you've crossed 1 million light years of space in your expensive flying saucer, I bet you're on a tight schedule. And your boss wants results, rewards, and returns for paying for the whole thing. Alien taxpayers have to get their money's worth as well, you know. Maybe after a few years of exploitation, some charitable alien types will come along with love beads and tie-dyed spacesuits saying,
oh, save the monkey people of Earth.
But most of us will be dead by then. The truth is, we're not alone in the universe, not only because of the mathematical certainty that the cosmos has an abundance of bacterial slime in various stages of evolution, engaged in simple chemical processes, but also because there's other life on this planet. Life we are able to and do feed off, farm, exploit, destroy, and use any way we like. It's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. It's the natural order of things, and space is no different. I like the idea that there's other life. It doesn't matter what it's like or whether it's been here already. What matters is what we're like. Are we an alien you would want to visit your planet? If not, would you visit ours? I say the universe is full of life, but they're hiding from us because we suck. If I were an alien watching Earth for the last 50 years, I'd be shitting myself in case we escape into space. Like swine flu with nuclear bombs. We will infect your galaxy, pollute your atmosphere, monetize your life, and sell you shit you don't need made by alien slaves on another planet so far away you don't have to give a fuck. So, let's do the universe a favor, humanity. Sort yourselves out. Be nice, or we'll never meet E.T. Thanks. And may your civilization be nice to old ladies, your government be paid the minimum wage, and your God fail to materialize.
That was Deke.
What do you think of Deke?
Deke, I think, has raised the game. He's trying to show the world, you know, what's going on with the New World Order agenda. Very funny man, and certainly a must-watch. It's a pleasure to see him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, we are very honoured that he chose to give us a clip for the show. Basically, what impresses me about Deke is that he's concerned with what is happening now, where I think a lot of conspiracy theorists and a lot of conspiracy seems to be based on stuff that isn't tangible, so people can't relate to it, whereas there is actually enough evil in the world today to kind of focus on and do something about.